Good day everyone. So yes, you've read the title of the video correctly. The Teapot can potentially be the endgame we want in Genshin Impact, of course with a couple of changes as I'll explain in this video. So before you think that I've finally gone crazy, let me just kind of explain. So in Genshin Impact there are two things I think most people want. A, they want to use their characters and they want to sort of feel powerful using their characters in combat. And the second thing is they want to kind of get to know their favorite characters a bit better. What's the lore? What's the story? How do they interact with other characters? Etc. etc. So I think personally these are two fundamental aspects of the game that Hoyo has kind of failed to deliver on. So obviously combat, there's no real end game, so that's kind of an obvious one. But a thing that not a lot of people talk about is the lack of proper character development. So for example, we have pretty much except for the Archons, very like almost non-existent Act 2s for all of the 5 stars and their story quests. In fact, it sometimes feels as though the Hangout quests for the 4 stars are like much more fleshed out than for the 5 stars. For the 5-star characters, it's basically just, oh, we're going to talk a bit, there's a bit of a crisis, so let's quickly go to a place here, you can use the 5 stars as a trial character, crisis averted, and that is pretty much the end of it. Pretty bland and boring, don't you think? So as a character-driven game, as Hoyo said, you know, characters are more than just their power level. Well, we kind of seriously lack the character potential, and this is what something like the Teapot can do. So in this latest event, you can obviously see that it's much more fun being able to talk to these characters and say, hey, you know, try out this dish, what is your reaction? But this could go on, like, this could go much further in my opinion. You could have the characters walking around, having the characters interacting with the furnitures like they do sort of in Honkai Impact. That would be like much better in terms of just sort of giving us an idea of what the preferences are for these characters. So if you saw there earlier in the background, it was kind of obvious that Yelon likes really spicy food. So this is something you would not ordinarily know about the character, but now you kind of do know it. So this is the thing I think the Teapot can uplift. But the other thing that I think the Teapot can do as well is to give us more combat content. You might be like, well, how is that even possible? Well, it's actually kind of simple. Since everyone is in agreement that this is a casual game, there should honestly be no reason why we could not have special why the developers could give us like special areas that we could sort of like summon monsters for ourselves in the teapots. You could have designated zones where you could set the level and the abilities for certain enemy AI monsters, and you could then go and fight them. So imagine there is in the background some sort of intricate little forest, or someone's built like a little maze, and in the middle of it you just have like level 200 monsters pop up with 10 million HP. That'd be like really cool, just to sort of like get you a bit of a different way of like playing with like the enemies and the AI, because Genshin in and of itself is kind of boring when you just have a flat open sort of area like in a spiral abyss, and it pretty much all just comes down to circle impact. You stand within the Bennett alt, you stand still and you swirl with Kazuha, and pretty much that is the majority of the game. Whereas when you've got terrain and you've got enemies moving and you're being hit off field and you've got to now climb up and down, and Xiangling's Pyronator can't hit the enemy archer, which is giving you lots of trouble at the top, and you have to swap off of your Xiangling. That's the sort of combat that we want, something that's more dynamic, something that takes into account the background. And what better way than just giving us as players the agency to sort of build our own environments, our own combat and staging environments, and potentially even sharing some of these combat game modes. I do not think there's any problem in doing it, because we've all agreed this is a casual game. We've all said Genshin's not serious, there's no competitive leaderboard, there's nothing like that. It's all about you curating your own gaming experience. So why can't we have the ability to summon or to have special areas in our teapot where we can create essentially our own like sort of combat events? I honestly think that would have been like so cool, because what I could then do is meaningfully tell people like how the different team comps work, and with these types of monsters how you should be positioned. There's the amount of guides and the amount of information you can get out of this would be like really cool. Because yeah, I don't know about you guys, but in my opinion Hoyo has just been consistently failing us with combat events. Like the recent events that we've gotten are all way too casual, they're way too watered down compared to the Vagabond, to the Energy Amplifier, the good stuff that we've had like a year and a half ago. Ever since Sumer, it's just been so boring, and we need something. We honestly, genuinely, this game genuinely needs something to keep it from dying out, and I do think that the Teapot could potentially be a very nice community driven solution to sort of solving that. But yeah, let me know if you guys agree or not. That is honestly my take. The Teapot has become a bit of fun, so I've been spending more and more of my energy here. Still, obviously, lots of work in progress, but hey, it's something. All right, enjoy Kokumi walking into the sunset. Cheers.